It's your girl, Miss Ruby V, with Salon Guru and Bizzo Beats, and this is the Boom Bap Hour. So we have a very, very special guest here on the Ruby V exclusive, Bobby J from Rockaway, straight out of Queens, New York. Welcome. We are so glad to have you on the Boom Bap Hour.
Oh man, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes. So for those who don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about who Bobby J is as an artist and just anything. What do you have going on right now that you'd like for our audience to know?
Well, I'm a rapper from Rockaway Beach, Queens, New York. I'm currently working on an album right now. It's predominantly produced by Kwame. I'm signed to his label, Make Noise. And you know, I'm just putting out what I feel is missing from hip hop right now, which is, you know, that East Coast energy, but still updated for now. You know, I feel like a lot of people in rap are trying to, you know, follow the new waves of the new trends of what's going on, and I just want to give people an alternative to that, and you know, give people that may have grown up with hip hop and may have kind of gotten away from it due to how it sounds right now. I want to give them something new and fresh that they can identify with. So, you know, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I just want to make, you know, unapologetic East Coast hip hop, and you know, hopefully people enjoy it, you know.
Yeah, for sure, because there's a lot of people. That's exactly why we made the Boom Bap Hour, because there's so many people that are missing that. So definitely give you big props for that. And so, yeah, it looks like it says you, in your bio, it says you grew up, your mother loved classic rock, your father was a fan of Motown and funk, and your older brother was an MTV junkie. But even though you were inspired, I grew up in that era too, so I was feeling that. You know, you definitely, when it came to making music of your own, gravitated towards hip-hop. So why hip-hop, and what does hip-hop mean to you as an artist? How does it affect you in your life?
Well, I mean, just to go back to what you said, I mean, I was surrounded by just so many different genres of music growing up. I mean, it was inescapable. You know, my parents were playing music around me. My brother was playing music around me. And, you know, I just love music in general. And I think, you know, the fact that my older brother was 5 years older than me, he was the one buying all the new records, you know, and it wasn't just rap. It was, you know, grunge music, hard rock, you know, everything that he was listening to, you know, just me being younger, I looked up to him and was listening to everything that he was bringing home. And around the mid to late 90s, you know, that's when, you know, the focus just completely switched to hip hop. And, you know, he was bringing home records like Illmatic and Ready to Die and you know, DMX, Big Pun, Eminem, you know, so I had a very good introduction to rap music, and I think there was maybe 5 or 6 albums that were just highly influential to me. And, you know, when I think when I first heard Ready to Die, that was the first rap album that I really fell in love with from top to bottom. And from there, you know, once I get into something, it just becomes an obsession. So, you know, I just started studying everything, you know, consuming as much hip-hop music as possible. And, you know, I started to go beyond just, you know, hearing the music and just liking the beats and liking the way it sounded, to really listening and paying attention to what people were saying, you know, how they were structuring their rhymes, how they were flowing. And, you know, I think the first time I heard Big Pun or Nas, it really started to click with me, like, you know, these guys are a tier above everybody else. And I just became obsessed with trying to figure out why that was. And that's when I really started getting into the technical aspect and the lyrics. And I think I just me being so obsessed with it, I wanted to learn myself how to do what they were doing, and I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could do what they were doing. So I think that was the seed that eventually grew into what I am today, where I just started writing, and you know, initially you start, you know, emulating your favorite artists, and then after a while you get better and you start to develop your own style. So, you know, I was always obsessed with the writing aspect of it and the technical elements and how people put words together, and, you know, how people had, you know, double entendres and similes and metaphors, and that was what really, really drew me in. So hip hop to me has just always been a vehicle for me to express myself. It's kind of a way for me to take all my influences and package them together and kind of mix them up in this pot and deliver something unique. Hip hop has always been about, taking something that was never meant to be hip hop and making it hip hop. And that's the thing that I always loved about it. So you'll hear that in my music. I draw inspiration from everything, really.
Yes, definitely. And it's, just speaking of, definitely, just being self-expressive and using hip-hop as a vehicle, every Monday morning, is it on social media, like Instagram?
Yeah.
You drop a new freestyle in the video series called Breakfast Bars, right?
Yep. Breakfast Bars it serves a lot of different purposes. There was a period where I kind of was in this rut. I've been putting out music since 2007. And there was definitely a period where I got into that mad rapper phase where, I was frustrated. I think a lot of artists go through this. You kind of hit a brick wall and you get frustrated. Like, I'm putting in all this work. I see people around me that I feel like I'm equally as talented as, or I'm better than, and they're lapping me, and some of these influencers, these gatekeepers aren't really messing with my music. And I hit this spot where there was a couple-year period where I was working on music, but I wasn't actively putting anything out. And I think it was within the past, 2.5 to 3 years where I really was able to lift myself up out of that and really start to focus hard on music again. And that's kind of where the process started with me and Kwame working on this next album. And as we got deeper in the recording process, I realized it was just a new era in terms of how people are promoting their music, putting their music out, and I wasn't really hip with the times. So I made a promise to myself that starting, I think when I told myself I was going to do this, I was like, all right, starting this Monday, and that was about a year ago, I'm just going to drop consistent content every week on Monday morning, and I'm going to call it Breakfast Bars. And that was just me using whatever was at my immediate disposal that would allow me to put music out, to my advantage. So, Instagram is a great platform if you know how to use it right. So what I started doing was I started, making these little minute-long, freestyle videos tailor-made for Instagram, and also putting them up on my YouTube channel. And, taking beats that I grew up listening to or songs from artists that I loved growing up or original music. And I just promised myself that every Monday I was going to drop some kind of content, whether it was a song, a video, something I shot on my iPhone, whatever. But it was really meant to, one, let people know that I was back putting out music. Two, just keep myself regimented to a system, where it was like, all right, I have this deadline and I have to meet it every Monday. Three, it keeps my pen game sharp. It keeps me on my toes. And four, look, we live in a very fast food type of society where people just consume things. You put something out on Monday, people forget about it on Tuesday. So it's me just feeding the beast and trying to adapt to the times and make sure that, I'm being consistent, because, if you don't stay on your game, people will lose interest. So it's been very beneficial just in terms of getting my name out there, building my buzz, building my presence. And it's given me a little platform, it's allowed me to build up my own thing instead of having to rely on other people to post my music or other people to kind of give me the thumbs up on whether they like it or not. It allows me to leapfrog a lot of the traditional, lanes of putting out and getting your music heard. So it's been really beneficial on a lot of levels. And I just came up on the 1-year anniversary. And you know what? I look back a year ago, and the amount of strides I've made is kind of crazy given how small my team is. So it's something I don't really think I'm going to stop doing because I love it.
Yeah, you should definitely not stop doing it. And I love the name, by the way, Breakfast Bars. So I love it.